was just like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Found him to be much more skilled as an actor than I would have anticipated, just based on finding out that he was primarily a comedian.
He has the capability of being so truthful and honest. He was able to connect to those emotions and portray them truthfully, and that's all acting is.
He had a natural feel for, you know, as an actor and as a comedian.
The kind of comedy that Bernie did really made it possible for him to make that transition into being.
Father did one gesture. To this day, I've never seen anybody else do that. He did it in the movie a couple times ago.
Yep.
Nobody did that. You know, like, get out of here.
Yep.
And it endeared me to him. This big guy with this one little gesture.
Bingo.
The best characters really start somewhere from something that you have and that you bring to it. And clearly Bernie just brought his...
It was a well-constructed scene, so it played very easily, and there wasn't really a lot of discussion about it. We just did it, you know, and it was like jazz, you know. Everybody had the chops, and everybody was in the pocket.
You know, being on the set with him and Carl Reiner and Elliot Gould, and you know, they just had stories. And we would just sit around sometimes and be 15, 20 hour late shooting because, and Steven too, the director, he would want to hear him too. So we'd just all sit around and he would just tell stories.
They all genuinely liked each other, and they never, whenever we were shooting, nobody would ever leave the set. They would always collect and start telling stories, and there are few people that tell stories better than Bernie. I remember Bernie talking to Carl Reiner a lot. I think he really respected Carl's work.
Hey, Bernie, Mr. Reiner. What's up, Reiner? BBJ, looking good there, sir. This is my mentor. This is my story.
We had a lot of conversations backstage at the doing Oceans 11, 12, and 10, 11, no, 11, 12, and 13.
I remember in Ocean's 12, chillax was a word that like went through the crew like wildfire, that was something that he said on the set one day, and it just entered the lexicon immediately.
It's a Bernie Mac-ism.
A Bernie-ism.
I mean, it was a million of them. You just, you know, I walk alone. I'm diving for loose balls.
Buddy, I'm from Shot-Town. Wrong hole, pimp.
Some of my bitch.
I'm paddling upstream in a downhill world.
You got the look, but you got to get the joke.
You ain't what the owl left on the limb.
I'm on the 50-yard line, but I'm first in goal. Be like, what?
There's so many times where Bernie said stuff that didn't make any sense on paper, but everybody knew what he was talking about. I mean, you were either along for the ride or you weren't.
Man, if I go broke, that means broke's in style. It's like...
I'm glad to be here because, see, I ain't never had nothing when I was a small boy. See, I was poor, broke.
My dad grew up on the south side of Chicago. I won't say they were dirt poor, but they were pretty poor.
Our house was on 66 in Blackstone, but the city tore it down when the rats took over. We moved to a new place on 69th and Morgan in Inglewood, right above a church called Burning Bush Baptist Church. Somewhere along the line, maybe during the move to our new digs, we lost Daddy. You know how you tell if you're a poor person? You look in the fridge and there's nothing there but bologna. You was talking serious poor. But that bologna was good. You eat it real slow, make it last, you know.
We was so doggone poor, man, we ate cereal with a fork. So we could pass the milk to the next individual. I remember my first three-piece suit. That's how poor we was. I wore the pants, my brother wore the vest, my sister wore the jacket.
Yeah, we was poor. But here's the thing, I didn't think nothing about it. I thought life was good. I thought how sweet life is.
He recognized where he came from. He was, I think, appreciative of it.
When you grow up with nothing, when you have nothing, you know, you appreciate so much more when you're worked for something and you receive the rewards of that. Bernie didn't just, nothing was handed to him. He had to work for it all. He saw his own path out.
He wasn't telling jokes. He was telling stories, and he was just, you know, talking, coming from the heart, and just letting you see, letting you in.
Everybody in my family cuss, man. Everybody in my family cuss, man. When my mother passed away, bless her heart, man. You know, my brother went up to the preacher and said, Reverend, that was a hell of a funeral you said, you ain't bullshitting. Monty said, that motherfucker good, ain't he? I said, what the is happening here? Priest said, these motherfuckers crazy.